Hey guys, Skellycrafter here, and today we blend in style. And today we're gonna learn how to put depth of field and ambient occlusion in the Blender viewport. Now this works for both Cycles, internal, network, and Blender game. Well, I'm pretty sure it works in Blender game. I don't use them. I just use, internal and Cycles render. So yeah, this is universal, and it works on both of them. And this is what it should. Wait, no. If I just click these buttons. This is the final result of what it should look like. Now, this is just a really simple scene that I set up in like 10 minutes. It's not really that great, but you can see that like how it works here. So this is the thing. Here are the colors. There's depth of field in the background. This actually is an ambient occlusion because Cycles doesn't really need ambient occlusion, does it? I mean, Cycles is pretty good, but like if you're using internal render, you want to see it work. So this is what an ambient occlusion does. It estimates the light in like corners of a scene, which is what it does in the viewport. To get to this panel, you press N, and then you scroll all the way down to shading and ambient occlusion and depth of field. I'll talk about depth of field later, but this is how you get ambient occlusion for now. So I'm just gonna switch to the second scene. Now this is the second scene. Let me just pretend that those things weren't ticked. So yeah, this is just without it in the viewport and in the final render. You click ambient occlusion, and now there's ambient occlusion. But you see, there's no depth of field. Depth of field is like the blur from like light receiving, something like that. I don't know. Like, you know how like you have like a photo of like something close up and then the background's blurred? That's basically what depth of field is. So if you click depth of field, it will automatically add it into Blender. But first, you have to actually go to the camera panel. So click on the camera that you're using right here. That isn't the main camera. Let me just set a marker. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now it's all blurry. That's a problem. So we're going to have to fix that in the depth of field panel. So you want to create a focus. You can use distance. But distance isn't like, it's not accurate. You can animate it, but it's more complicated. So what I like to do is Shift A, add a mesh, no, not a mesh, add an empty, and add a plane axis. Now this is called empty.001. So I'm going to click on the camera to get to it, and then I'm going to go down to the depth of field panel, focus, and then I'm going to type in empty001, which is this. And now it's fixed the depth of field point to wherever this empty is. So if I go into the camera, and then I move this thing around to be, whoops, that's way too far. If I move this thing, what is wrong with you? G, yeah, okay. If I move this thing to be more far back, it's going to become blurry. That's because the f-stop is really low. You have to fix the f-stop in this panel as well. So if I turn this up to 20, and then I move this thing, yeah, you can see it gets blurry, but it gets clearer for the cubes, and yeah, just put out the right one. This is like a preview. This isn't the ending, and then you just render it, and it should work. But actually, it shouldn't work because you have to go into the node editor. But that's not what this tutorial is for. This is how to activate depth of field and ambient occlusion in the viewport. So thank you for watching this Blender tip. If you want to learn how to make beautiful clouds in Blender, there'll be a card in the top right corner saying how to. Right now at this very moment. New YouTube feature, by the way. Really cool. And yeah, thanks for watching.